This is the 10th anniversary year since the events of 2005, Katrina and Rita devastating the southern part of our state. The message I would hope to convey to your viewers is that they need to be prepared, and three things in particular. Number one, heed all evacuation orders from local or state officials. Get yourself and your loved ones out of harm's way. The first lesson learned from the events of 2005 is we lost 1,600 of our fellow citizens who lost their lives as a result of those two storms. Actually, it was all Katrina related, the loss of life, and I think the lessons learned from Katrina had folks 3 weeks later take precaution to evacuate when told to when Rita came our way. Number two, the best insurance buy a property owner can make is still the National Flood Insurance Program. Get flood insurance in place. We are the most benefited state in America by the National Flood Insurance Program. Even though rates are going up by that federal program, it is still subsidized largely, in particular for folks in low-lying areas in our state. And number three, when you do evacuate, know what your insurance coverage is and what is not covered. By that I mean, know if you have a 5%, which is common these days, named storm deductible. That's not 5% of your loss, that's 5% of your insured value applied against your claim. So know that. If you feel you can't afford that, shop around. There are alternatives available. And when you do evacuate, bring your insurance papers with you. Even during, even fire risk are a major concern during an evacuation period when there's a lot of empty homes and empty areas, and even in some cases empty from fire protection because of flooding in the area or danger to the area. So you need to have your insurance papers with you so that you can begin the claims process when you have a loss. The sooner the better, because you get in line before others. And there is a duty in your insurance policy to mitigate your losses. And by that I mean incur whatever expense is necessary to stop the damaged roof from causing further damage from incoming rainwaters in the days following the initial event. So, number one, heed all evacuation orders. Number two, access the federally subsidized National Flood Insurance Program. Number three, know what your coverages are and what they are not. By that I mean what your deductibles are, in particular named storm deductibles. And bring with you your papers so that you can reach out to your company or your agent to begin the claims process after an event if you have a loss.
Tell us about the significance of where you're standing right now.
We're at the monument marking the break in the levee here on the 17th Street Canal, which was one of three canals that saw the flood walls fail in the aftermath of Katrina that devastated this Lakeview area here in New Orleans. There were three such breaches, or canals with multiple breaches, in the aftermath of that event. The good news is the federal government has spent $15 billion improving the protection. In fact, the work continues just behind us here at the 17th Street Canal, providing better flood protection for those four parishes within the levee system, Plaquemine, St. Bernard, Orleans, and Jefferson, that are within this vastly improved levee protection system that the Corps of Engineers has upgraded over the past 10 years. It protects property and it protects lives from such events as we had in 2005.
10 years ago, you talked about flood insurance. What's the situation now in Louisiana? How many people have flood insurance?
About a quarter of the property in Louisiana is insured for flood, and that's good. It's not great. About twice that should be insured for flood. Actually, I tell folks in Shreveport and Monroe, every property in Louisiana should be insured for flood. If it's a very low risk of flooding, then it's a very cheap policy to acquire. The premiums are very low. And the higher the risk, the higher the premiums, but whatever the premium, it is being subsidized in large part still, by the federal government, making it the best insurance buy a property owner can make in our state.
If people have questions like more information, what should they do?
Please contact us, 1-800-259-5300, or go to our website, ldi.la.gov, Louisiana Department of Insurance.la.gov.